physical education instructor Kath Valen had been teaching at the prestigious Galactic Academy for over 40 years, guiding young beings from across 17 different species through the fundamentals of physical fitness and coordination. His crystalline form sparkled with pride as he surveyed his latest class, a diverse group of cadets from the galaxy's most civilized worlds, all eager to meet the modest physical requirements of interstellar service. Well, almost all of them. "Class," he announced, his harmonic voice resonating through the Academy's state-of-the-art gymnasium. "Today we welcome our first exchange student from the recently contacted world of Terra. Please make Cadet Emma Rodriguez feel welcome." The human who stepped forward looked remarkably ordinary by galactic standards, shorter than most species, lacking the Zephyrian's 4 arms or the Altarian's enhanced sensory organs. Several students exchanged glances that suggested they were wondering what all the fuss about Deathworlders was about. "Now then," Instructor Kath Valen continued, consulting his data pad, "let's begin with our standard warm-up routine. Cadet Veltar, would you demonstrate the proper breathing exercises?" The young ethereal floated gracefully forward, his translucent form shimmering as he performed a series of gentle respiratory patterns designed to oxygenate the system before physical activity. The movements were elegant, meditative, and entirely appropriate for beings whose home worlds maintained carefully controlled atmospheric conditions. Emma raised her hand. "Excuse me, sir, but is this the warm-up or the actual exercise?" Instructor Kath Valen's crystalline structure flickered with confusion. "This is indeed the warm-up, Cadet Rodriguez. We must prepare our respiratory systems before attempting any strenuous activity." What happened next would be discussed in hushed whispers throughout the Academy for years to come. Emma began what she called basic stretching. To the horrified alien students, it looked like she was systematically attempting to dislocate every joint in her body. She bent her spine in directions that defied their understanding of vertebrate anatomy, twisted her limbs into configurations that should have required immediate medical attention, and performed something she called jumping jacks that generated impact forces capable of damaging most species' skeletal structures. "Cadet Rodriguez," Instructor Kath Valen called urgently, "please cease this self-destructive behavior immediately." Emma paused mid-stretch, one leg extended at an angle that made several Altarian students physically ill. "Sir, this is just my normal warm-up routine. On Earth, we call this basic flexibility training." "Basic?" whispered Cadet Zeftal, a young crystalline whose form had gone completely transparent with shock. "She's contorting her physical structure beyond all biological parameters." But the real horror began when Instructor Kath Valen announced the day's first official exercise, the endurance assessment. Students were expected to maintain gentle locomotion for a full 10 minutes, a challenging feat that tested cardiovascular conditioning and stamina management. Emma asked if she could run instead of walk. "Run?" Instructor Kath Valen consulted his database frantically. "Cadet, rapid locomotion is an emergency survival technique. It places extreme stress on biological systems and should only be attempted under life-threatening circumstances. Actually, sir, on Earth we run for fun. Some humans run for hours just because they enjoy it. We have something called marathons where people run for over 42 kilometers in a single session." The gymnasium fell into stunned silence. Several students began hyperventilating at the thought of such biological extremes. "Impossible," breathed Cadet Morkath, a young mechanoid whose systems were struggling to process this information. "Sustained rapid locomotion for 42 kilometers would result in catastrophic system failure for any known biological entity." Emma shrugged. "My personal best is actually 3 hours and 47 minutes. That's not even that good by human standards." When the actual exercise began, the alien students watched in fascinated terror as Emma began what she considered a light jog. Her feet struck the ground with impacts that registered on the facility's seismic sensors. Her breathing remained steady and controlled while processing atmospheric conditions that would strain most species' respiratory systems to their limits. "She's not even sweating," observed Cadet Vexera, a young serpentine whose scales were rippling with distress patterns. "How is she maintaining thermal regulation under such extreme physical stress?" The answer came during the strength assessment, when students were asked to lift objects weighing 0.3 times their body mass, a significant challenge that demonstrated muscular development and coordination. Emma approached the testing apparatus and casually lifted an object weighing twice her body mass over her head with one arm. "Cadet Rodriguez," Instructor Kevalen said weakly, "the testing equipment must be malfunctioning. Please use the properly calibrated weights." "Sir, these are properly calibrated. On Earth, this would be considered lightweight training. Our gravity is about 2.5 times galactic standard, so everything here feels easier." She demonstrated by performing what she called push-ups, an exercise that involved repeatedly lifting her entire body weight using only her arms. She completed 50 repetitions before stopping, not due to fatigue, but because she noticed that several alien students had fainted. "Perhaps," she said diplomatically, "I should adjust my routine to be more appropriate for the local fitness standards." Instructor Kevalen was frantically updating his lesson plans, realizing that his carefully designed physical education program would need to be completely restructured to accommodate a being whose idea of basic fitness would qualify as superhuman by galactic standards. "Cadet Rodriguez," he said finally, "I think it might be best if you served as a special instructor for advanced conditioning techniques." Emma brightened. "Great! I brought some equipment from Earth to share. Wait until you see what we can do with something called kettlebells." The collective shudder that ran through the alien students could be felt throughout the academy. Word quickly spread that the human exchange student had turned physical education into an extreme survival course. From that day forward, Galactic Academy physical education was divided into two tracks: standard fitness for civilized species, and Deathworlder conditioning, for those brave enough to attempt human-level exercises. Emma never understood why she was the only student who signed up for the advanced track, but she was happy to help her classmates understand that on Earth, what they called impossible was just another word for Tuesday morning workout.